Hi, my name is Shannon from Ishiki Insights. I apologize, I have a bit of a head cold, so bear with me tonight. I spent the first 7.5 years of my career living in Washington, D.C., getting paid 6 figures to do a job I was good at, but that I hated. Day in and day out, I crunched numbers, built Excel models, and daydreamed about taking a soul-searching trip around the world to find my passion. My stress levels were high, I got sick almost every month, and I spent my paycheck on Starbucks to help me feel energized. You're probably wondering why I stayed for 7.5 years based on everything I just told you. From the outside, it looked like I had it all figured out. People complimented me on landing great jobs at highly rated Fortune 500 companies. I was even listed in our company's brochure as a model of success for prospective employees. And the external validation felt good. I actually began to rely on it. But during this time, my inner reality was filled with fear and unease. I lay awake at night worrying that I would get stuck living in autopilot mode and never find my passion. Fast forward to 2014, when we moved to Miami for my husband's job. I saw this move as the perfect opportunity to break free from the golden handcuffs. A few months after relocating to Miami, I got connected to a boutique recruiting firm. I remember thinking, I'll combine my corporate finance background with my desire to help people with their careers and become a recruiter. And at the time, this seemed like a really good idea because I'd have unlimited earning potential given the commission structure. Looking back now, it's pretty ironic that I wanted to use recruiting to find my passion because I had never used a recruiter in my own career. About a month in, I noticed that even though I had changed everything on the outside, I still felt overwhelmed, frustrated, and unfulfilled. I still cared way too much about what other people thought, and on top of it, I was worried about my finances because I had taken a significant pay cut to change careers. So I did what any normal human being would do. I complained. I blamed my stress on candidates that weren't calling me back. I got frustrated when I found out our clients were simultaneously using 5 other recruiters at the same time. But despite feeling unhappy and frustrated and financially stressed, I also felt trapped. The idea of making another job change made me extremely nervous. Given that this whole recruiting thing hadn't worked out so well, I was worried about making another wrong move. I was also ashamed that I had bought into the lie that turning your passion into your career was the definition of success. One day, instead of complaining, I decided to open an email from a friend, and in this email, she urged me to take an online career fulfillment quiz. Being a self-proclaimed personal development junkie, I took the quiz right away and excitedly read my results. This quiz changed my life. I don't mean the quiz itself, but the conversation that followed changed my life. It was my first time talking to a coach, and I didn't really know what to expect. I went into the first coaching session secretly hoping my coach would be a career fortune teller. I was still stuck on the idea of finding that one career that would bring me fulfillment and happiness. I remember thinking, she has to be pretty smart, right? She came up with this quiz. Turns out that she wasn't, and still isn't, a career fortune teller, but she does know a thing or two about coaching people past their limiting mindset to make some serious changes in their life. A few months after working with a coach, things started to come together. There wasn't a particular aha light bulb moment. It was more like when the letters come into focus at the eye doctor. I began connecting my overwhelm, stress, and frustration with how I was showing up at work. Striving for perfection prevented me from being my authentic self. Caring about what other people thought of me meant that I was stifling my own voice. I was stuck in a constant cycle of people-pleasing, perfecting, and performing. No wonder I was so cranky all the time, and no wonder I wasn't seeing the results I wanted to see. Through working with a coach, I realized that it doesn't matter whether my paycheck is 5 or 6 figures or whether I'm living in DC or Miami, because changing everything on the outside was never going to fix my lack of fulfillment. Doing the inner work and giving myself permission to be me was the real key. Once that lesson sunk in, I got the answer to my original career conundrum and realized I wanted to coach other professionals who also felt stuck, unfulfilled, and frustrated. I wanted to hold space for them to get honest about their own fulfillment gap so that they could take empowered action and create their ideal life. Today, I am so grateful to be a coach who helps professionals live with greater fulfillment and fewer regrets. And the only way I would have discovered my calling was to come to the honest, hard truth that it's not the job, it's you. Thank you.